Alright guys, such comic again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. The drama continues last night. Scrappy and TJHaLy going at it over next year's LA Thieves team, but also another 1v4, another round 11, another absolute collapse. Scrappy crashes out big time over all the money that he's been losing on Coldwall Charles over these last couple of days. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Plenty to get into today. Just quickly wanted to start here. You know, there's talk about the maps that are potentially going to come back in Black Ops 7. There was a bit of talk from Matt Sconce about bringing back health bars and stuff like this. I just, saw this tweet and thought it was kind of interesting. This was a map, if you guys, I'll give you a couple of seconds trying to remember what this is called if you can't remember. This was a DLC map from Black Ops 2 called Mirage, which was interesting because I was kind of starting to learn about Counter-Strike at the same time. They also had a map called Mirage. But yeah, this was not a competitive map or really anything of the sort, but it is funny to think about this map because this map was so fundamental. It was just a pubs map, right? Mirage, it was a DLC map, whatever, and I think it was in the first DLC. People were using the Peacekeeper on this map when that dropped as well, alongside Grind and these other maps. And Grind's come back since as well, and Mirage might not look especially spectacular, but I'd tell you, man, Mirage, if you compare this map to, like, most of the maps, the vast majority of maps in Black Ops 6, it's night and day. This map would have played better in competitive. Very, again, it's a symmetrical map. The flow was good, it worked well. Importance of, controlling mid-map was pretty critical too. So, it was a solid map. It was nothing spectacular, but in the same way that, that map, I always think of the map Exodus from Black Ops 3. Again, not even close to being a competitive map that year, but you compare that map to the absolute sludge that's been churned out today, it's not even close. So, again, it's stuff like this. There's a ton of maps they could bring back from back in the day that weren't even competitive maps back then, but they would still be better than what we presently have. Now, talking of bit of controversy, this I thought was pretty interesting. Toronto say, what's one COD opinion that has you like this? And you don't say jetpack's better than boots, you want to see some actual hot takes. Now, I do respect this, right? Because usually you see unpopular opinion, and actually it is a popular opinion, it's just people that often say it. So when I hear unpopular opinion, I want to hear actual unpopular opinions that you are going to get roasted for. And aBeZy was getting roasted for this, which is exactly the point. So let's talk about it. aBeZy says 5v5 took more skill than 4v4. Now, of course, in the replies, people are going to clown him. I mean, there's one guy says goated opinion, but this guy says put down the pills, and this guy says bro's just saying that because he got his ring in 5v5. So look, unpopular opinion. I don't agree with this take, and I can definitely see the logic that maybe aBeZy is saying this because he did win champs on MW19 when it was 5v5, right? So, of course, there is going to be some bias in play, but it's interesting to hear his perspective on this 5v5. I mean, look, we had over 2 titles, right? Black Ops 4, Modern Warfare 19, then it went back to 4 versus 4. I think maybe you could argue that there was a skill in a different way that was required in those 5v5 games. It was, maybe you could argue, more difficult to have impact or to understand what you should be doing on the map as the 5th player on the team. Now, yeah, aBeZy had great success in that first year of the CDL when it was 5v5, so I can obviously see that there would be some extent of bias there. And I think in general I preferred COD since its return to 4v4. The reason it went 5v5 in the first place was because Black Ops 4, they tried to bridge the gap between casual and competitive, and they wanted to make pubs 5v5, which they did, and make competitive 5v5 as well, because that would, bring more people into competitive or something, which again was an admirable goal, but was never really going to work, because if you look at the average pub player, how fast do they play? Not very fast, right? Like, they don't really understand the objective. They don't really, they'll set up on a head glitch with an LMG and they'll lock it down. They'll lock down the lane because they want to get their kills and their kill streaks. That's very different to playing for the win in a competitive setting in a game mode like Hardpoint. So it's always been the case that maps that are designed for 6 versus 6 in public matches often play pretty well for 4 versus 4 in private matches, or in, competitive, because the game is played at a significantly faster pace than in your average pubs game. So the idea of coalescing that at 5v5 in both probably wasn't great, but also maybe it worked because the maps were a little bit bigger. They actually worked in Black Ops 4 kind of well for 5v5. And in Modern Warfare 19, the map stayed pretty big as well when it stayed 5v5 in competitive. But since it's gone back to 4v4, I think there have been some benefits to that. I will say 5v5 would mean there's more players in the league, right? So that is one other thing to think about there. But nice to see someone saying a genuinely unpopular opinion and standing on business. But let's talk about this drama with Scrap. So Ghost of Hope comes out and says that apparently LA Thieves are going to announce their roster on Saturday. Now, who knows? As of recording this video, they've not announced it yet. Maybe having seen this tweet, they'll be like, you know what? We're going to drop it earlier. I mean, it's pretty funny, right? If you see it, if you're planning to announce your org and your team on Saturday, and you see a tweet that says they're planning to announce it Saturday, are you still going to drop it Saturday, or are you going to try and drop it earlier or later, or throw people off the scent or whatever? But look, Scrap, HyDra, they're not going anywhere. Ghosty and Envoy officially out of the team. That's been made official now. aBeZy is certain to be joining because he's left FaZe and he's not linked to anywhere else apart from Thieves. And then Kenny is always going to be the controversial feature of this team just because of the most challenging season that he had very recently. I did see some discussion on it here from Dawn. Of course, we know that Temp and Kenny are pretty close, but yeah, Ghost of Hope says this and the FaZe trio breaking up are downgrades to me. No one's going to compete with OpTic, but Temp says I bet they place better at the bigger tournaments than they did last year. They might not be dominating scrims in regular season like Black Ops 6, but I guarantee their champs in EWC will be better. You know, basically the logic here is that Kenny will make that team better at the bigger tournaments, and that was Don's thought. He made it clear on the podcast a while ago that he thinks that was one of the key factors in getting Kenny onto the team, is that, look, they've just failed the last couple of years at the big events. Obviously, it was only 1 year here for Scrap on Thieves and HyDra so far, but still, you know, they've come relatively close the last couple of years. It's not worked out. Bringing Kenny back in, that could make a big difference there. So, yeah, they think they get worse. Yeah, Kenny was terrible this season. I think just having Scrap and HyDra frying will be enough in the regular season, and at the big events, Kenny will do his thing. So I can certainly see the logic in that. Of course, it's going to be a controversial move as and when this might well be announced. There's been a few nice graphics that have been flying around as well, such as this one when aBeZy may or may not potentially join. And, you know, if this was the official graphic, it would look pretty damn nice, but as it stands, that has not been made official at all. Now, on stream the last couple of days, things have been getting pretty spicy. So Scrap went live, he says the comeback, returning for some chows. Of course, everyone played Black Ops 3 in the early days of this off-season now. There's a lot of Cold War chows going down, but some very entertaining clips coming through. Somehow they got 1v4'd again, this time on Express, and Scrap was absolutely furious because he's down like 4 grand or something in these Cold War chows after they keep bottling these round 11s. It's actually sensational. And of course, he's been playing with TJ as well, so Scrap's not very happy with TJ, and then TJ was roasting him back, especially on his new team, saying, damn, you dropped Dan Ghosty? Like, he was your communicator, he was your leader, right? You're going to get rid of that guy? Who you're going to bring in who's going to do a better job than him?
Take our time, bro. Where?
I'm running back.
He was like A-side.
Get hit our side, chat. I'm gonna look at mid-train.
He did be mid-track. I would push you and I'm standing on your attack.
TJHaLy, we are running out of time.
Alright, that's bomb too.
The bomb has been planted.
Look at the mid-train it.
Or push you.
We should go together.
You should go that side.
I have the top cut. I don't think he went top.
I'll jump in mid-train, bro. Wow, where you at?
I'm about to work our side.
No, came out their side.
Where do you go? Where
I don't know. Yeah, lockers.
Where you at, Teach?
I'm top train.
Yeah.
Oh, worth this?
I try lockers.
Could be in mid.
Train. One shot. You went in the mid-train.
Oh my fucking god, man! Fuck on!
Is that forward?
Like, bro, are we dead ass, bro? What the?
What the fuck, man? How do we lose this?
Terrible, bro. Both of you. You're fucking both awful, man. Like, holy fucking shit, bro. TJ, amount of fucking money you lose me is insane, bro. No, bro, shut the fuck up, bro. Don't say Ernie, bro. Shut the fuck up.
Bro, you get shit on too.
Yeah, bro, I'm getting shit on you, bro. You got me.
You do.
Like, bro, are we playing fours, bro, or what?
I'm about to get off, bro. I'm not playing this shit.
Stop. Why do you guys do this, bro?
I'm not
Like,
playing
it's
this
so
shit.
emotional over threes. Like,
Bro, we're down 4 bands.
fuck it. You don't even feel it.
I know, but like, bro, like, it's not about like the money. It's about like who we're sending the cash to. These kids are all retarded, bro, and we're losing. Like, one of the kids doesn't, bro, he doesn't even have somewhere I could send money to him. I gotta send it through his fucking boyfriend.
Yeah, we're not getting off because you guys are getting fucking ran in.
Bro,
threes.
I'm not getting ran, bro. I promise you I'm not getting ran. My 2 teammates
it's
suck
collective.
fucking dick, bro.
It's a collective,
They
bro.
suck dick.
Well, I
Like,
need to be
holy
here, bro.
fuck, man.
Need some teamwork.
The first shot on, retard the fuck up. My fault, you guys.
Start watch partying, start roasting people.
He's a roast.
I'll be
Yeah,
roasting
see,
you,
look,
bro,
you,
because
like-
you guys are fucked.
Or I don't know you. Like I know you're just trolling, but like,
I'm not.
bro, yeah, you are. Shut the fuck up.
Is there a rumor team? Holy fuck.
Bro, I mean, TJ, you won 1 map against me last year. Literally 1 in like 6
Yeah,
matches.
you dropped your best player. And Ghosty.
I mean, you dropped yours, Reese Vivid.
Yeah, we
Now
did.
he's taking your spot.
I know, he's him. What did you drop? You dropped your best finals player. You dropped your best. You just dropped your leader.
We might be fucked.
But they got another leader.
Who?
Can't say.
I don't even know who they're picking up. I'm just. Who the fuck? Who are you guys picking up?
He's so brain dead. Like oh
That's so bored.
Dashy in the background here, maybe gassing up Kenny just a little bit, kind of saying, oh, I don't know who they're going to get instead. Maybe some sort of pretty good leader, right? Obviously, there's been some success there in the past. And I think this is a perfectly understandable change. I mean, look, Dashy has experience with it, right? Dashy played with Ghosty and then the next year played with Kenny after they dropped him for Kenny. So could be a very similar thing going forwards. But yeah, we'll talk about the Thieves roster in due course as and when that gets officially confirmed. The other thing that was just very funny is how they managed to lose that 1 versus 4. Again, it was genuinely impressive. The one on Raid was pretty bad, but yeah, that Express one again in round 11 was an absolute disaster class, and Scrap was not a very happy man, right? Like, yeah, they bottled it pretty bad. Again, it's like maybe it's always the third guy's fault or whatever you want to say, or the second guy's fault, right, in the 1 versus 4. But yeah, they've gone down big money over the last couple of days. They've been putting together what theoretically should be some kind of god squads, right? Dashy's in the mix, TJ's in the mix, Prolute's in the mix, Scrap in there as well. But yeah, they're playing some of these challenges and it's not gone to plan so far. So very entertaining couple of moments, but Scrap on the defensive, as you might well expect. Just a couple of other things before we close out the video. Speaking of Scrap, he does appear near the top of this list. So this is overall Grand Finals KDs from the Black Ops 6 season. Now, of course, some of these guys made more Grand Finals than others, but Cellium in his Grand Finals appearances had a 1.25. Dashy had a 1.2, and I think that's particularly impressive because Dashy's overall KD this year was maybe a 1.1, something in that kind of ballpark anyway. And Dashy, we know that he was great this year. We know that over the last couple of years he has veered more in a direction of doing whatever it takes to be the best teammate he can be, and being the best individual player that he can be has kind of come second to team success, at least from a statistical perspective. If he needs to get hill time, he will. If he needs to play a bit slower, he will. Whatever it takes, right? And that's worked very well for Dashy, but individually his level has still been incredibly strong, right? You look at these numbers, Dashy is, you know, to be in the Grand Finals, typically you're playing the best team, right? Now, yeah, they did slam a couple of Grand Finals this year when they made them. But still, Dashy with a 1.2, Shotzzy with a 1.13, Huke with a 0.98, Mercules with a 0.93, interestingly enough, because I guess Champs Grand Finals didn't have his best series, understandable. There was kind of a lot of pressure on at that moment, but Cell tops the numbers. Scrap was at a 1.13, HyDra at a 1.12, Envoy at a 1.10, Ghosty at a 0.86. That's what was kind of relevant here, right? Is as they were saying, oh, you dropped your best finals player. Like, I think that was kind of tongue-in-cheek, right? Because Ghosty's record in finals this year, not necessarily the best. Nastie was, on paper, the best performer of the Surge guys in finals, despite being, like, the only guy right now not to be getting picked up. He had a 0.91, Abuzah with a 0.89, Neptune with a 0.87. I think there might have been a couple of corrections here, actually. So, yeah, those numbers are correct. Scrap actually had a 1.12, HyDra actually had a 1.14. Doesn't really change much. But anyway, yeah, this is the list of the other players. aBeZy was slightly in the negative and Simp was slightly in the positive. The FaZe guys pretty much even, apart from Cellium, who as often can be a little bit of an outlier there. So very much interested to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.